Hey everyone, so this is going to be my first in a series of videos. I'll sit up straight and talk. It's a short post-game analysis of my old Warcraft III mod. This is to show, this is a big part of my portfolio for game design. I designed almost this entire game. I had help with a couple abilities, but and some skins. Other than that, I made the whole thing. So if you remember way back when there was Dota All-Stars, I was making this at about the same time. So it's called Final Fantasy Deluxe. We had these old boards that you had to use, so each player would fill in here. Once you choose your hero, I'll just start with somebody. I know I want to be 7 to 12. Where's Red 13? Yeah, Red 13. Because I have a skin for him. Red 13 skin on a wolf. Alright, so after you pick your hero, it tells you who they're playing, and you have your kills and deaths. Your base health. You know how much health is left. If you're playing heroes, it's the next, or league, it's the next. My game had a lot of interesting mechanics at the time that not everyone used. So they just introduced this in Towers of Doom, in Heroes of the Storm, but I don't think League or anything else, or Dota 2, or no other game that I've played MOBA-wise uses these. But they're just little teleporters, so you would step on them, you'd have a couple seconds delay, and then it would actually cost you mana to use that, to get there faster. But it lets you get to lane really fast. But both teams, the other team, also uses the same one, so it's similar to Towers of Doom in that they're going to allow you to travel different areas. Part of this game was inspired partially by a comic I made when I was like a teenager. It was essentially a whole bunch of inside jokes. So that's why I have like Red 13's named Bugenhagen's bitch. So I still had last hitting in here, but I have another interesting mechanic. We'll see if it'll do it here. I'm not good at last hitting. Maybe another lane did it. Yeah, here we go. So, as you kill enemies... As you kill enemies, they will drop random items that you can use. So, Phoenix Down would raise one of your dudes back from the dead, give you a bit of pushing power. It was pretty random, and I realized I should probably have set it up to be more even, so if Phoenix Down goes for one side, it goes for the other side as well. You can also drop Gil, so it's just a Gil bonus. So this helped when you were laning against a ranged hero as a melee hero. You could run in and just quickly grab the gold and run out. Since you were closer to the battle zone, usually being zoned out, you can sometimes do that. But if you're getting fully zoned, or like a really strong laner, you'd have to worry about that. This just started here. This is the questing system. So instead of giving you kill streak bonuses, my game used a mission. So it would put an exclamation mark over one of the heroes on one of the sides, and it would put it next to them on the scoreboard as well, so you knew who you had to try and kill. And anybody who killed that hero would get 500 bonus gold for that kill. I think that was double the bonus. I could be wrong. I'll level up for a bit here. Talk about some of the other mechanics and start to level up here. So The interesting thing I did for this version was I gave every class, or every character had a class tree. So Red 13 was a monk. I felt that fit because he kind of was always melee, and he used a bunch of different things. So that was another example item there. It was a field ether that gives everyone mana. There's also a field potion. Those were all the items that could drop. I'll turn my volume down because I can really hear myself over talking. Now you can still hear me. Okay, so where was I going? Yeah, so everybody had a skill tree that matched their class, quote unquote. And then they also had 2 unique abilities. So for Red 13, I used his Blood Fang Limit Break and his Stardust Ray Limit Break. Those were 2 of my favorite abilities. And then the monk skills, when you leveled it up, I'll show it to you in a sec. But yeah, here we go. So they had this thing called a spell book in Warcraft 3 that would let you put other skills inside of it. I was like, oh, experimenting with this. I'm like, cool, I can make a whole bunch of spells. I can make a spell book for each class. Typical Final Fantasy class. And then everybody who is that class gets access to that spell book. So Red 13 and Sabine or Mash from FF6 would be monks, etc. So I had like Palom and Parome would be black mages and white mages. Kefka was a black mage, I believe. Stuff like that. So they each get access to their different trees, and each of them would have different things. So this one gives me Stigma Magic, and these are pulled mostly from the Final Fantasy Tactics abilities or other job class abilities. So this one would dispel positive buffs from enemy units and negative buffs from your friendly. And so it was just let you get rid of debuffs or their positive buffs. And then Wave Punch was just a little wave nuke, so I can click on it and use it. And then for every ability I had, kind of might have seen that there, I had a system that would just say what you just cast. So I wanted it to feel kind of like Final Fantasy Tactics, where you'd sometimes shout out the ability you were about to use. So I thought that was really cool. And I think a few more MOBAs could kind of do well to do that, because when you're learning a new MOBA, you don't know what ability is what or what it does until it's used against you. But if you know the name of it, if you see the name of it whenever it's used, you can look that up online, check out guides, like, what the hell, how did that kill me? You can figure that all out. So yeah, Blood Fang, just like the Limit Break, would steal health from the enemy, and it's just a really short, it was just a short duration life drain from, I forget which hero used that. One of the new ones. Stardust Ray drops, I still haven't done it near enemies, it doesn't hit towers. But it's kind of like Starfall for, Priestess of the Moon ultimate, but it shoots them really fast. I'll do them on this big wave here. And it's a channel ability. So it just does a whole bunch of meteors. So he has pretty good wave clear for a melee hero. What else do we got? I'm just gonna level up. So my heroes, I think, went up to level 25. The ultimates were at 8 and something. I can't remember. And then, if you remember the old Dota 2, I think it might still be in, or old Dota All Stars. Everybody has this like bonus where you can just take stats. That gives you bonuses to stats. So the other mechanic I had before League brought in the back button, I had this ability, everyone has it, exit. You cast it on your fountain, and you would channel it for a few seconds, and it would bring you back to your fountain. I'll go through items in my next video, probably with a different hero as well. But I had a ton of item shops. Oh. Oh, right, that was the other thing I wanted to do. Well, first I want to show you the ultimate. So I'm going to level up a bit more. And then I should have enough health to actually quickly do the other thing I want to show you. Can't quite solo some things. Sadly, this game has JAS in it, so I had to use a Warcraft III loader to get the right version. Oh, I just realized you can't see my abilities down here. I'm going to have to move my image. One sec, I'll do that while I hold position. Put me in the middle. Yeah, you don't need to see my stats, really. Okay, so yeah, everybody has this exit ability. Costs 100 mana, so you can't just always spam it. So you would typically, as a melee hero, just stick around for the experience, dash in, grab the items, and then use your exit whenever you needed to go back and buy. While the ranged heroes would typically get easier last hits. So I was trying to balance out. I believe I turned denial off on this. So if you remember Warcraft III, 2 specifically had denial in it. I didn't like denial as a mechanic. I don't think it's right to kill your own army. I didn't have denial on. So the way I kind of wanted to balance the mechanics was with this skill dropping. It lets fast heroes or heroes that are not busy trying to get the last hit, they'll be the ones that can react to it fastest. Because they won't be in mid-animation, and they'll be able to quickly get in there. And I'm trying to get to level 8 as fast as I can. Here I'm good. So I believe at the point there where I stopped, I had creeps in an older version of the map, but I was in the middle of redoing all the creeps because I didn't fit this new version that I had. So there are no creeps on this map except for one type of creep. The creep maps were these green and red dots. I think there's a boss up here. You notice how I'm out of mana. I can't use my exit, but I can run up and grab this field ether, and then I should have enough to exit real quick. You can also, like, if you abandon a lane for too long, if somebody's left solo, those field potions and Phoenix Downs that drop allow you to push the lane really fast. So it really was kind of some interesting mechanics, I think, that other MOBAs don't really use yet. Yeah. Whenever you die in this game, you also have a funny sound effect that plays. Like, I made it, going back to my comic strip thing, my comic strip was a comedy strip, just using Final Fantasy characters and accentuating their character traits, and those character traits let you do fun things with characters. So I took a lot of that comedy and put that into this game. So usually the hero name you had here was funny. Yeah. And whenever you die, like Monty Python quotes will go off and stuff like that. It was kind of a map I made for an internal group of friends. And we played it a lot. We would have almost nightly game sessions, and I'd have nightly balance patches for a few months when it was at its peak. So, a lot of fun. So most of this was done in editor, but I did have some JAS scripts, and I'll show those to you later. I need to remember my debug command, because there was, if I'm playing, it changes my name, like my player name is Squallish when I joined here, but it changes to Squall because that was a nickname for me, and anybody who was in on those nightly play sessions would get a nickname changed for whatever their default Warcraft III name was. They would get a nickname. So that was another little mini feature. But I also had when I'm playing, there was a command that I could enter that would let me do stuff. I have to remember it. Because if it's me playing and I was the only player, it would know. Hey, the game maker. I'm going to use my next 100 man at the back. Farming. The pace of the game was pretty slow to start. I wanted people to get all their abilities and learn them one at a time. It was kind of like Dota in that way, and League. The other thing I had, Warcraft 3 had the 2 income systems. So basically, there was gold, which lets you buy items. But I've also got, I called it mist points. So you can use mist points to forge uniques or repick heroes. I'm gonna go back now. So I'll probably do that at some point. But basically, if you repick, you would lose some experience. So if, say I'm level 7, I would go probably down to level 6 or so. And then I could choose a new hero. So it let you once you've chosen a hero, it can't be picked again. Oh yeah, I'm gonna hire LK was a friend of mine. Red Chocobo, Black Chocobo, Gold Chocobo. Movement speed bonus. So you had controllable Chocobo that you could follow around. And because he has no attack or any stats, by default the AI would ignore him unless he was the only target. You'd use that to avoid things. I'll quickly buy a couple items. Okay, this should let me be able to solo this, which is the last feature I wanted to show in this video. So, when I redid the map, this is kind of a system you see in Heroes of the Storm a bit, but they don't last forever. So I had the crystals. So there's the Earth, Fire, Wind, and Water crystals. Those are the green dots. Each had 2 that were closer to them slightly. So this okay. And Doesn't heal. Good. So the idea here is you're going to be fighting over objectives all the time. So just like Heroes of the Storm does now, where you have those objectives. But these were always on and always active, and you'd always choose, hey, let's fight for these things. So when I kill the Crystal of Earth, it becomes an allied tower. Like it respawns as another allied tower. So now this belongs to good. And I've captured the Crystal of Earth, so I gain a spawn for my team. So now the next wave of spawns from my base now spawns an Earth Elemental. And all the elementals do the same thing, but they have a different model, just so you know which ones are captured by the enemy team. But they did chaos damage, which if you ever played Warcraft, you'll know that chaos damage does high damage to all armor types, but even towers, structures. So they're really good at killing structures, but they have almost no HP. They have 180 HP compared to the archers, 260, and the melee dudes have even more than that. Yeah, 460. They are really easy to kill, especially with AoE abilities from any hero. So, and because they would grant you a little bit of gold and experience, taking the crystals too early could be bad. So you'd want to take like 2 crystals right at the same time. You take those 2 crystals right at the same time, and then go push with them, so that you have like a couple waves. And then once you've got some towers down, and you can, if you've got both of these towers down, you can start invading the fire crystal, which is evil favored, and start taking that from them whenever you can, whenever it's safe to do so, and then you can just surge to victory by surging, like getting waves of full crystals, and they have to deal with the waves first, and then go fight you for the crystals. So, or they would lose towers. So that's the way you kind of swung pushes, was to fight over these objectives, the green objectives. They start out neutral, and then whoever killed them last, it joins their team, and if it's on your team, it spawns something. And then I guess the last thing I will do is, I think this one was a targeted ability. I think it's like Frost Nova. I'm just going to find a wave of dudes. Go cast Cosmo Memory. Level 4 limit break. Heal. Okay, let's do it. Yep. Boom. Summons the thing from this moon and burninates the countryside. I think it was he used Flame Strike and the Stardust Ray, that one. Starfall animation. There. Anyway, that's the first part of my video. I just wanted to show that. The basic mechanics, a couple of things that are different. My next video, I'm going to go through some of the other heroes with some of the unique. So this one, we went through pretty much all of Red 13's abilities. I didn't get into the monk skills too deeply, but they're pretty useful. But I'll have another video that goes through shops, and then I'll have another video where I go through all the heroes and pick some of the unique ones. Yeah, so thanks for watching.